My dad stole $40,000 from me, so I waited until this exact moment to take it back. I'm standing on the graduation stage, microphone in my hand, hundreds of people watching, faculty, students, families. And right there in the front row, my dad is smiling like this is the proudest day of his life. 3 months ago, he drained my college fund money left to me and handed it to my younger brother. Then he looked me in the eye and called it a family decision. The dean steps toward me, whispering, "This isn't part of the program," reaching for the mic, but I don't let go. I pull out a folder, look straight at my dad, and say, "Then let's make this part official." Before we go anywhere further, comment where in the world you are watching from and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. The room doesn't react right away. At first, it's just confusion, people shifting in their seats, whispering, trying to figure out if this is some kind of planned speech. The dean freezes beside me, hand still hovering near the microphone, unsure whether to pull me away or let me finish. My dad's smile doesn't drop immediately. He actually lets out this small laugh, like I've just made a weird joke, like I'm about to say something sentimental and thank him. But I don't look at anyone else. I keep my eyes locked on him. And slowly, that smile starts to fade because he sees the folder in my hand, because he recognizes it. My brother Ethan leans forward in his seat, squinting up at me. He still looks annoyed more than anything, like I'm embarrassing him, not exposing him. He has no idea what's coming. That almost makes it worse. I take a breath, steady, even though my chest feels tight. This, I say, lifting the folder just enough for the front rows to see, is documentation of a bank account that was opened in my name, funded by my grandmother, managed by my father. A ripple moves through the audience now, quieter, sharper. My dad shakes his head once. Subtle, warning. Don't. I ignore it. 3 months ago, I continue. That account was emptied without my authorization. This time, the reaction is louder. Not gasps, just a low, unsettled murmur spreading row by row. The dean leans closer again. "We can discuss this privately," she whispers. I don't even turn to her because for months, everything was private. And that's exactly how he got away with it. My fingers tighten around the edge of the folder. I could stop right now, walk off, take my diploma, pretend none of this happened. That's what he expects. That's what he's counting on. But then I remember sitting at the kitchen table, hearing the words, family decision, like I didn't even exist in it. So I flip the folder open, and that's when my dad stands up. "Don't do this," he says loud enough for the rows around him to hear. The entire auditorium goes still, and I realize he knows exactly what's inside. I lift the first page into the light. "Then you probably recognize this." He thought saying it out loud would stop me. It didn't. If anything, hearing my dad's voice crack through the silence, "Don't do this," just confirmed everything I already knew. Because innocent people don't panic like that. I lower the paper slightly, just enough to keep control of the moment, and for a second, everything around me fades: the crowd, the stage, even the dean hovering at my side. All I can see is that kitchen table from 3 months ago. Same man, same tone. Just a different kind of silence. I had walked in with my laptop thinking there was some kind of billing mistake. The university had emailed me about an unpaid balance, almost $19,000. I remember laughing at first. I had a college fund. That wasn't supposed to happen. My dad didn't even look surprised when I asked. He just leaned back in his chair, folded his arms, and said, calm as ever, "I moved the money." No hesitation, no apology. I thought I misheard him. "What do you mean you moved it?" He sighed, like I was the one making things difficult. "Your brother needed it more. You'll be fine. You've always been fine." Ethan was in the next room, door half open, pretending not to listen. My mom stood by the sink, rinsing the same plate over and over again without saying a word. I remember the exact moment it hit me, not just what he did, but how easily he said it. Like it was obvious, like it was right. "That was my fund," I said. And he shook his head. "No," he corrected. "That was family money. That's when something shifted because I knew that wasn't true. My grandmother didn't set that up for the family. She set it up for me, my name, my future, my education. And my dad knew that, which is why when I asked to see the account statements, he didn't argue. He just said, "You don't need to worry about that." Didn't need to worry. That was the moment I stopped arguing. Not because I agreed, but because I realized he was hiding something. And if he was hiding it from me, then I needed to find it myself. Because whatever was in those records was the one thing he didn't want me to have. He thought locking me out of the account would end it. It didn't. That same night, I sat on my bed with my laptop, going through every old email I'd ever ignored. Spam, receipts, anything connected to that fund. Most of it was useless. Until I found one message I didn't even remember receiving. It was from years ago, my grandmother's name at the top, subject line account confirmation. My hands actually froze over the keyboard. I opened it slowly and there it was. The original setup details. My name listed as the primary beneficiary, a note about account control transferring fully to me at 21, which I already was, meaning my dad shouldn't have been able to move anything without me. But he did. That's when it stopped feeling like a family decision and started feeling like something else entirely. Something calculated. I didn't confront him again. I didn't ask questions. Instead, the next morning, I called the bank. I kept my voice steady, gave them my information, and asked for one thing: a full transaction history and authorization log. There was a pause on the line. Then the woman said, carefully, "We can provide that, but may I ask why?" I stared at the wall in front of me because I think money was moved without my permission. Everything shifted after that. While my dad kept acting normal, joking at dinner, talking about graduation plans like nothing had changed, I was building something he couldn't see. Piece by piece, document by document, and the more records I got back, the less his story made sense because the transfer wasn't just recent. It was timed, calculated down to the exact moment I wouldn't notice right away, which meant one thing: this wasn't a mistake. So by the time graduation week came around, I wasn't confused anymore. I was ready, and I had exactly what I needed to prove it. Graduation day wasn't just a ceremony. It was a deadline. 2 days before this, I got the final email from the bank. Not vague language, not "we'll look into it." Actual confirmation. A full timeline of the transfer, the exact date, the exact amount, and one line that mattered more than anything else: no authorized approval from account holder. Me. I read it 3 times just to be sure I wasn't imagining it, because that one detail changed everything. It meant my dad didn't just move the money early or make a judgment call. He bypassed me completely. After that, things started moving fast. The account was flagged, the remaining funds were frozen, an internal review was opened. They told me I had grounds to formally dispute and reverse the transaction. But not instantly, not quietly, and definitely not without attention. Meanwhile, at home, nothing changed. My dad kept talking about graduation like it was his achievement too. Telling relatives we're so proud of her, like he hadn't just made it harder for me to even finish. Ethan showed up the week before with a new watch, expensive, obvious. He caught me looking at it once and just shrugged. "Relax," he said. "I'll pay it back someday." Like that made it okay. Like any of this was temporary, that's when I knew something else. If I handled this privately, it would stay hidden, minimized, rewritten, turned into another family misunderstanding. I couldn't let that happen. So I printed everything: the transaction logs, the authorization records, the email confirmations. And I reached out to my faculty advisor, told her I wanted to say something brief on stage. Personal, meaningful. She approved it. Didn't ask for details, which is how I ended up here on this stage, holding proof my dad never thought I'd see. Right as he realizes I'm not staying quiet anymore. For a second, no one moves. My dad is still standing, halfway out of his seat, like he's not sure if he should come closer or sit back down. The people around him are staring, some at him, some at me, some just frozen, trying to process what's happening. I hold the page steady. "This is the transaction record," I say, my voice clearer now than it has been all day. $40,000 transferred out of an account in my name without my authorization. There's no way to soften it. So I've already filed a dispute with the bank. The account is under review and the funds are in the process of being reversed. That's when it hits him. Not just what I'm saying, but where I'm saying it. In front of everyone. My dad shakes his head, trying to recover. "Maya, this isn't how you handle family matters." I meet his eyes. "You didn't handle it like family when you took it." That lands hard. No one's whispering anymore. It's just silence now, heavy, uncomfortable, real. I lower the paper slightly, but I don't step back. "For months, I stayed quiet." I continue. "Not because I agreed with you, but because I needed the truth documented." My brother looks down at his watch. He already knows. "This wasn't a misunderstanding," I say. "It was a decision made without me. And today, I'm correcting it." The dean doesn't interrupt this time. No one does. Weeks later, the bank finalizes everything. The funds are returned, every dollar that was left, and what could be recovered. The rest, my dad is held responsible for. Ethan has to give back what he can. The rest disappears along with the version of things he thought he'd get to keep. At home, nothing feels the same. My mom tries to talk to smooth it over, but there's nothing left to smooth. Trust doesn't come back like that. So I move out. Small apartment, paid carefully, responsibly this time, by me. And when I look at my graduation photo, I notice something. I'm standing alone. But for the first time, there's nothing in my life that isn't actually mine.